All right, what's up, everybody? Another day. I was gonna say another day, another video tour, but I forgot. I'm doing a live podcast. Could never get this damn thing perfect. But if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, welcome to LV Home Experts. This is where we talk about real estate financing. So if you guys have any questions, call live into studio today, 702-319-1092. Or if you have any comments, go ahead and ask your questions regarding Las Vegas real estate and financing. So today, in the studio, once again, my go-to guy, the guru of financing, Dan French with Guaranteed Rate. What's going on, my man?
What's up, guys? How's everybody out there doing?
Doing good, Dan.
All right.
All right. So we have another special guest. A lot of people were commenting that they like that British accent, so I had to bring him back into studio. My man, Matt Shields, SEAL Team 6.
Shield Team 6.
SEAL Team 6. Shield.
S-H-I-E-L.
But I like the SEAL Team 6.
I know.
It just sounds more cool.
But SEAL Team 6 is an actual thing. I'm not SEAL Team 6. I am Shield Team 6. It's completely different.
But here's the thing. You're just as hard as them.
I mean, it's just different. It's like real estate bombs.
No, I got you.
It's just real estate bombs. Whatever. Still piracy.
Bam.
So, Matt, what have you been up to? I know that we did that video the other day. Turned out really well.
Yeah.
Got a lot of great comments on it. A lot of people like that British accent for some reason. Seems like it goes a long way.
I mean, what can I say?
I know.
The motherland.
Where it starts, man. The origin.
So you did get a new listing, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a listing? So what's the deal with that?
So almost virtually done with the marketing. Just going to upload the listing very shortly.
Yeah.
It's almost completely listed and ready to go live. Gorgeous listing in Lake Las Vegas. Asking price $789. Gorgeous home. Absolutely beautiful. Probably will be sold to a California buyer, I reckon.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll have a link in the description below, so that way you guys can take a look at that property.
I would appreciate that.
And also I'm gonna have a link with the video that we did the collaboration together with. I think that's a kind of a fun video.
Yeah.
Go check that one out. Other than that, what else were you doing this week?
This week, been working hard. Lot of movement. Just grinding it out, helping people.
Yeah.
I got a couple good listings coming up, and was enjoying my sons as well. I have my sons 50% of the time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
So yeah, they're your little buggers.
Cool, man.
How old are these guys now?
10 and 12.
10 and 12.
10 and 12, but they're freaking sneaky.
So you have a handful then right now.
Well, I have them 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been unfortunate with the shutdown. Has been awful. I had to get them a tutor. Their grades fell off a cliff.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're not going to school.
Yeah.
The system's failing them.
So you think it has to do with the system?
Unequivocally.
Without you cracking that whip?
No, I mean, it's bad. Kids are kids. They need to be in school.
Yeah.
They need to be in school, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have to be in school.
I would have to agree.
They have to be,
Yeah.
especially
I would
young
have to
children.
agree. Well, here's my thing.
The interaction, right?
Yeah.
Well, I also think it's accountability.
Yeah.
Here's the problem is if you don't have somebody that's directly in front of them, teaching them, correcting them, telling them how the right things and the wrong things to do.
Yeah.
Their mind's just all over the place.
Can I tell you a story from my son, Caden?
Yeah, sure.
So-
right after Dan finishes his story.
Okay, sorry.
all right,
were you
man.
in the middle of one?
It's all good. Go ahead.
I'm
What
sorry,
was your
I didn't
story?
realize. Well, it was caveating what you just said.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Knock it out, man.
I got an email from my son, Caden. He's 10. I
Mm-hmm.
got an email from his teacher. Is Caden okay? What's going on? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, he hasn't been in reading class for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I confronted him, and the kids know because I do sales. I've got a lie detector.
Yeah.
I can always tell when people are lying, especially my children.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son.
Well, you're in tune with them. You know.
I'm like, son, I got an email from your teacher. Reading class?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been there for 2 weeks. Do you know anything about this? He's like, I'm like, okay, just tell me the truth, right? Just tell me the truth. Did you know about the class?
Yeah.
Yes, Dad, I knew about it.
Yeah. Well, at least he told you.
Yeah, he did. And because we have an honest relationship. And
That's
it's like-
good.
And it's like, why didn't you go?
Yes.
He goes, well, I just didn't want to.
But you know what? That's an honest opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, you
well,
know, at
like-
least he was honest with you, man.
Exactly. And I'm proud of
Probably
him.
because it's boring.
Yeah, but who wants to sit on their laptop every day and just look at
Yeah.
Zoom? It's really sad.
Same way.
Sad. It's sad.
Same way.
business.
Yeah.
Not, and also, like, I realize, like, every kid is not academically into certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, some kids may be into math, some kids may be into reading. You just kind of find that strong suit. You know what I'm saying?
I think too though I really feel like they're giving them information, but they're maybe not challenging them as much as say if they were in the
No.
class.
Yeah.
This is really sad statistic.
Yeah.
In Clark County School District, where
Yeah.
we mostly sell real estate,
Yeah.
last year, one child committed suicide.
Oh, that's
in
horrible.
the whole year.
How old was this child?
Listen, this year,
Oh, he's listening.
no, listen, this year, 11 children have committed suicide.
Here in Clark County?
Yeah.
Dude,
Why?
and you know what's crazy? I've
Because
never heard
the
of that.
lockdown. I know all this.
That's crazy,
It's
dude.
really sad.
Yeah.
And the children, what's happening with this pandemic is
Yeah.
scandalous, and it's very sad, and children are suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than the old people that are dying.
So do you think it's
It's true.
worth the risk as far as kids getting sick with the coronavirus, though?
Children
I mean,
don't get sick with the coronavirus.
is that a fact? I mean, I don't.
They don't.
Here's the thing. I can't debate you on this because
I know.
it's just too hard. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
a big subject.
yeah.
But children
I just
committing
understand both
suicide-
sides. Yeah.
Children committing suicide,
Mhm.
that's not good.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
I do think that
It's a
kids
sad
can
business.
get coronavirus though. I don't know if it's going to affect them the same as an adult or an elderly person,
Yeah.
but I do think they'll get it or they could get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what it's going to really do to their immune system.
You know what's crazy? I watched, fake news, and they were saying, well, everybody calls it fake news. So anyway,
It's just information.
well, it is, and it depends where you get your information. But that's why I like to look at every single source and just
Yeah.
kind of come up with my own conclusion. But
Yeah.
anyway, what I was trying to get to is that I've seen that how many cases that we're having now.
Yeah.
185,000 cases.
That's crazy.
And that is pretty crazy, and that is pretty alarming.
How do you think it's going to affect real estate?
Well, that's what I was going to lead right into. Obviously, Sisolak, which is our governor, right?
Yeah.
Came out, I think it was last week, and he was doing the lockdown 2.0, which I already knew that he's pretty much setting us up to say, hey, look, you're going in lockdown.
Yeah, and he got it too.
He's
Yeah.
told us. He's given us constructive notice.
Yes. But I think he kind of segued into it, and I think he's doing it the right way as a politician, which makes sense, right? But is it going to impact this market? Well, let's take a look, because when this thing blew up in March, right, it didn't really – it slowed us down for just a second, right? But it just like spiraled like high out of control. It was just crazy.
So my experience,
Yeah.
the last lockdown, there was a period of unknown.
Yes.
And there was a bit of freeze
Mm-hmm.
where people were like, ugh. And
Yeah. What do I do?
We didn't know like what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Everyone's like, and then it turned out nothing was going to happen.
Yeah.
And things continued as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like with this second lockdown, I don't think it's going to be painful for people losing income.
Uh-huh.
But like for real estate, people need shelter.
Yeah.
And the rates are so low. You know, do you know what I say to people about the interest rates?
What's that?
I say they haven't been this low since the Jurassic times.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Never.
Right. It's crazy.
So low.
I think that Vegas will be impacted though. And here's why. Because yes, the strip will be impacted,
Yeah.
Strip's done.
but at the end of the day, outside the strip.
Let's not say that. And the reason why is because I just read an article, and I think it was last month. We have an average of 3 million visitors, right? And that's accounts to about
week?
42 million. Now, no. A month.
Okay.
So last month, I think we hit 2 million, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not quite
Yeah.
where it was at. And
Yeah.
I agree. I read the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I think that it still will slow it or maybe just slightly stall the amount of people that are coming here, obviously, again. But I think that's where it impacts mostly.
Yeah.
Because outside that sector, yes, we're going to have people that are in construction, people that are doing some type of job where they may be laid off, but maybe, hopefully this time they're going to say, people like construction's a big sector here in Vegas.
Yeah.
I did have people that were trying to get into getting loans, and the ones that were in construction actually got laid off.
Yeah.
And some of them do get they get unemployment and things like that. So it does impact outside too.
For sure.
I think the strip will be impacted more than, let's say, outside of, outside of the strip, the outside sector, or people that are actually coming here or living here and working here, not working in the industry. I think that's who it's going to impact a little bit more.
Now, there was an article that I was reading that the casino workers, right, it's only about a third of our economy, and it only impacts about half.
Yes.
So basically, if one person goes out of unemployment, somebody probably loses their job.
Yes.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to get to is that there are other different sectors that are coming into this economy now. And I've noticed like the city of North Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas, they are bringing in a lot of corporations, even the city of Henderson too as well, because of the tax deductions and also the incentives that they have as well.
People are pivoting.
Yeah.
They're pivoting, working from home, and businesses are finding out ways where they might not be at capacity or get the same production, but they're still getting something, especially some restaurants outside of the strip.
Yeah.
Some of them are still going. They're just really taking that social distancing big.
So I've got some clients that corporate people that, like work for like Disney, Amazon, like big companies, and they're historically in California. Businesses change now, and these corporations have figured out, hey, we don't all need to be in the office anyway.
That's right.
Because we're still getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And so I think after this, you're going to see more working from home and that type of coordination. And then I've had some of these people they don't have to go to work anymore, and their companies are saying you can live in Nevada and you can still work for us, and you can buy a house in Nevada. So people are leaving California and they're buying a home here, but they're still working in California,
right?
With like the big company that they work for, and that's okay now. That's the new reality.
Yeah, I can't believe how many people are moving out here from California,
a lot of tech people,
especially like from the Bay Area.
Big time Bay Area.
Yeah. And I had a client that asked me the other day, he was like, how many clients do you work with out of state? I said, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
And his next follow-up question was, how many of them buy a property unsight unseen? I said, probably like 95% of them, where we specialize. And this is something that we do offer here with the team is if you are approved, all right? So remember this. Number one, you got to get approved. Once you're approved, at this point, we are willing to go out to do a full video tour for you and do the lay of the land. We show you the property live. And at that point, if you are interested in the property, we're going to write an offer. If it gets accepted, then what you're going to do is you're going to fly out here because you're going to have a 10-day due diligence period where if you don't like the property, we can cancel and get your earnest money deposit back. However, while you are out here, we're also going to look at other properties too as well. So that way we're maximizing, right, and saving you money by coming on out here. You don't want to come out here every single time looking at homes, right? And that's what we have in place. So if you guys are interested, obviously, give us a call. We definitely would love the opportunity to earn your business.
Speaking of giving a call, do you want to put that number out there so people can call in?
Yeah, that's a good idea. If you guys want to call in the studio,
questions up there as well.
We'll get into that in just a second. If you guys want to call live in the studio, 702-319-1092. Matt, because you're in front of that. You want to read some of these questions?
Yeah. So, Luz Malabdo Guado, I'm sorry I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what you're saying, but hey, how you doing? Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Hola, ¿cómo
Bien.
está? Okay, big flip status. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
big
what's going on?
thumbs up to you. Just lurking. Are there any builders comparable to Blue Heron?
Yes, there are, but you have to take a look at Blue Heron. So Blue Heron is like this, okay? They are actually a production builder and also a custom home builder. Now, you don't have to go directly through Blue Heron. Now, you can also find an architect. This is where it really comes down. It's not the builder. It's the architect that you need to follow. So there's certain architects out there that specializes in, design, and that's where you want to follow. Their design, their skill sets. Then you're going to go out and you're going to find a builder to build it, okay? And that's what you need to know. So it's just not Blue Heron, but there's so many other builders out here that people are not aware. I do have a list of custom home builders. If you are interested, what you're going to do is give us a call, 702-319-1092, or just shoot me an email. We'll hook you up. All right, what's the next question?
Wife and I are big fans of your videos. Greetings from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Dude, Puerto Rico. Ooh, they got some hot chicks
Remember that song
over there, bro.
that used to be like, Puerto Rico?
I've never been to Puerto Rico.
Me neither.
I want to go to Puerto Rico.
I heard it's beautiful out there.
I heard it's beautiful.
Oh, so hold on. What? Go ahead and man the whole situation. Oh, somebody called in.
Somebody called in?
Yeah.
Answer the call.
I couldn't. Hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like this.
Tell them to call right back.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure it's not a client calling. You know what I'm saying? And throw them on blast. Hey, welcome. It's like, hey, Chuck, I'm trying to buy something. Oh, my bad. Hey, what's the next question we got up on here?
I'm going to start fixing and flipping. What's going to come after that? Fixing and flipping, always good if you can get it.
Is there a market for it, though?
Yeah, I think this is a call coming in. Let's take this call.
We've got a call coming in.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to LV Home Experts Live. What's going on, man? What's your name and what's your question?
This is Josh. I was the one that asked the Blue Heron question.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I guess we just answered that question. But do you have another question?
Yeah. So, like, when I pull up, you showed a house from Toll Brothers. It looked great. And then I pull up reviews from Toll Brothers, like consumeraffairs.com.
Yeah.
And their rating's like a 1.4. Do you...
I can say something
like
about that.
Are there builders that you stay away from, like better builders than others, or how do you feel about that?
I'm gonna let Matt answer that question, and I'm gonna follow up with that question too. Go ahead, take the floor, Matt.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Hey, Josh. So I've encountered this, right? And I mean, these are publicly traded companies that build like thousands of homes across the country, and like whether it's Toll Brothers, D.R. Horton, or Pulte, in my experience, as long as you're represented properly through the process, then you have to keep the builder stays straight. And sometimes, Josh, something happens, and sometimes you have a crazy person, like the buyer is actually like, there's always people that complain, and so if you Google any company, there's always bad complaints about them. And they sometimes get blown out of proportion, but obviously it's good to be wary. Toll Brothers make an excellent home, and sometimes you have to break some eggs to make an omelet. And if an egg got broken and then someone's really upset, they may write scathing reviews, but at the end of the day, you don't know if the omelet was good or not, and maybe that person was just venting online. So I don't.
But I mean, there are homes that builders do like mess up on, and there are problems.
There can be problems.
So this is how I combat the situation. If you Google every single builder right now, there's always going to be problems with every builder. It really just comes down to working with an agent that understands your legal rights to process and understanding the contract, because the contract is basically the playbook. And if you understand the playbook and you understand your rights, you can literally hold the builder accountable as you're going through the process, which happens a lot where you piss off the builder. But at the end of the day, you got to protect the client. You got to know your rights. So it's how you play the game. And, you know, I would say probably about 25% of the time, I'm constantly butting heads with the builder or the contractor, because you have to understand that, you know, Toll Brothers is just not building your home, because they have a bunch of trades. I mean, we have the drywall, you have the flooring, then you have the superintendent that runs that whole track. And he may run like 50 homes on a track.
You can have a good one on the back.
Yes, exactly. Then you may have a sales agent is not as strong, right? That represents the builder. Now, the sales agent, right, doesn't have a good relationship with the contractor. Contractor has full control, right? The superintendent. And he's just pushing her around. But you got to know when to attack, and you got to know exactly what to come back with the verbiage. You got to know how to pick and choose your battle, and you got to just know your rights. And you can't just step aside and let these people walk over you. But I'm going to say 75% of the time of all the builders I do work with, I don't have a problem, but it's how you hold them accountable and don't let them run this deal. You see what I'm saying?
So to answer the question, though, his question is that the reviews, is it going to deter him from actually picking that builder? So what you're saying...
It shouldn't.
Yeah, what you're saying is it comes down to the agent and who you work with.
Yes.
And that ultimately will make the decision of who you work with, because everybody's going to have some in good or bad reviews.
But the other thing is, if the client or Josh, if you want a home in a certain area and you want a certain home, you've only got certain options.
Yeah.
And you have to go with what you like, and then make sure that throughout the whole process everything is correct. And Josh, when you buy a new home, it does come with a warranty.
Yeah, but now when it comes to a warranty, like certain builders, when you do your final walk, what they try to do is...
brush over it.
Exactly. And that's where you have to hold these guys accountable.
You have to do a home inspection.
Exactly. Because if not, I don't want you to be in the position where you close on the home and they're telling you to go through the home warranty. But once you sign off on that final walk, you got to read through it through a fine line, because it's a lot of them says, look, if the window's scratched, the screens are broken, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to cover that. If the roof tile. So this is why you got to read that contract and know exactly what's going on and hold them accountable all the way to the end. So that's just the bottom line. It's just accountability. But there's not too many agents out there that really specializes in new home construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh, did that answer your question?
Yeah. Just a quick follow-up. Do you have like a favorite home builder?
Now, do I have a favorite home builder? Not necessarily, but I do have a certain type of style. I'm more into the Mediterranean mid-century modern style. So that kind of leans towards Blue Heron because of the style, okay? Now, can I take a KB Homes, right? And can I customize the KB Homes?
Sure.
And make this $350,000 home look like a $450,000 home or $650,000 home? Yes, I can. Because there's certain techniques that you can do at the design studio to give you that facade, but also force the appreciation up. Does that make sense?
Yep, sure. Yeah, I just come across Blue Heron recently. Yeah. And like my mind was blown. Like I haven't seen anything like it. So I just want to look at more properties like that.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of like the leading industry.
Locally.
Yeah, locally for that type of style. I know they're branching out to like Arizona. But if you go like true custom, there's a lot of custom architecture out there where they can literally build you a home even better than that if you wanted to. I mean, it just comes down to money. But keep in mind, the pricing that you do see with the Blue Heron, one thing that you have to understand is that if it starts off at $900,000, you still got to buy the lot. Could it run you up to $500,000? Then you still got to build it, right? And that could cost you another $1 million. I mean, you can literally be into these properties for about 3.5, and that's on the low side. Now I'm starting to see their midpoint is about 4.5 million, and you can really trick out a home with them. But just keep this in mind, Josh. If you're going to build a custom home, make sure you build this custom home correctly. And if you're going into the deal where you barely have any money, then you probably not want to go into the deal, because on the resale side, there's certain things that you're going to need in today's market for a custom home build. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for the call, and you have a great day now.
You too.
All right, that was cool, huh?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Nice little start off.
Yeah. What's
We have Zach. Zach says, release the Kraken.
What does that mean?
It means you release the monster.
All right, here we go. We're gonna release it.
Is that the Kraken?
Dan, you should be bobbing your head, dog.
Oh man, I didn't know. Dude.
Oh my gosh! One more time. Let's hit it.
All right.
Kraken. Anyway,
I didn't know. Dude, you guys caught me off guard. Did you do that last show? Because I don't think I was a part of it.
No, man. So you got to be in the rhythm, bro. Like,
oh, I see. It's a rhythm thing.
Yeah, like
Anyway.
you like 5 minutes behind. What's the next question we got up here?
Chakits, you're the man. Random question.
Yeah.
Which AC brands are your favorite? I'm one of the mass exodus Californians moving out of state and need to cool down my AZ home.
Oh. Air conditioning units, I prefer like midpoint. When it comes to air conditioning units, there's all different type of air conditioning units. You got Lennox, Bryant, you got Carrier. The top brand that I think is the top brand is actually a Train. And Train is like the Ferraris.
You know about AC units, don't you?
Well, I've been in the business for about like 3 years doing air conditioning work.
That's right, I remember that.
But Train is like the most expensive out there, the most efficient. But you can get away with Lennox, and Lennox, as far as for me, I think as far as like the price point and what you get for the product and the warranties with the items, I think it's like the greatest. Okay. And one thing that I want you to understand is when you look at an air conditioning unit, especially with the builder, you want to see if it's a 14 SEER or 16 SEER unit. The higher the SEER unit, the better it is. It's just more efficient for you. Also, you want to see exactly what type of refrigerant this air conditioning unit is. All air conditioning units now has transferred over to a 410, I believe. They used to use 220, right, on the air conditioning unit. Now, that's obsolete. The reason why I'm bringing this up is all builders now are required to use a new air conditioning unit. But however, if you happen to buy a older home, when you get a home inspection, make sure that home inspector actually takes a look at the AC unit, check the SEER rating, and also one thing that you may want to do is check the amperage of that compressor. Because what happens is there's a label on that air conditioning unit. It tells you what the amperage is. You want to check the amperage because after so many uses with that compressor, the amperage starts to die down. Also check that refrigerant too as well. But for me, I do like Lennox, but for all my rental properties, I do like the lowest grade, and I use Goodman. Now, Goodman is like one of the cheapest, but I spend a little bit more on the Goodman product because there's different series, but they're a little bit more efficient, but they're not like the Ferraris or the Lamborghinis of the AC world. But for all my rental properties, I just use Goodman, and they work just as good too as well. But most importantly, it's really like how you maintain it, right? Every single year, you should be spraying out that condenser, right? And also, you should probably have an AC guy to go out up into the attic, take a look at the coils, make sure the coils are cleaned out, and you should be changing your air filters like every single month. Like all my tenants, they are required to change out the filters every single month. And what I do is the beginning of the year, I just buy them 12 sets of filters.
That's very nice.
Yeah, and I just hold them accountable. Hey, man, make sure you to change it because when it comes to rental properties, that is like one of the most expensive ticket items that you can have is an air conditioning unit. Luckily enough, I've been in the business. So air conditioning, this is how it works. The companies go out there, they always try to sell you a brand new AC unit. And the guys that go out there, right, they're in the business to make money. So they may sell you something and they have a right to charge you whatever they want for the piece. So for me, I'm just lucky enough to know if I'm getting hosed or not. You know what I'm saying?
You know, some AC guys, they break stuff on purpose to come back.
Oh, I've never heard that. Have you?
I've witnessed that, like just crooked cowboys, you know?
Hey, did you, there was this one where I seen a couple days ago, a snake was like inside of the compressor because you know how like it's warm, right? Yeah. It's getting cold. Imagine going out to your backyard, you had like a rattlesnake inside your
Man, how long do AC units last?
Air conditioning units can last up to 15 to 20 years, just depending on how you maintain the air conditioning unit, and also depending on the components. Like my air conditioning unit, I've had like the blower motor has gone out, right? The run capacitor, that normally goes out too as well, pretty quickly. So it just depends how much of a use you use your unit.
So there's a question up here, Chuck.
Yeah.
It is from DM. What area of town do you guys recommend if I am wanting to buy my first rental property? Looking for lower budget, not interested in an apartment, more so a small house with a yard.
That's a good question. The first thing I always ask a buyer is, what type of investor are you? That's something that I have to identify right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the first one.
Yes, because it has to go. It's going to go two different directions. Are you a buy and hold, and you're looking for cash flow, and that's typically true investors?
Yeah.
Or are you buying based upon speculation? If we bought based upon speculation, that tells me, bing, we got to go to a certain location because you're trying to get forced appreciation in the future.
Inspirada's a good one.
Yeah. Why is Inspirada, you think, is a good?
Okay, it's like the new Henderson.
Yeah.
And historically, it's had the highest depreciation of.
You mean it's like the new Summerlin?
No, new Henderson.
Okay, new Henderson.
Because
Okay.
Henderson's blown up.
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of land over by Inspirada, and it's going to go all the way to the edge of the mountain, and then there's going to be no more space there.
You still think though the next few like year we're gonna have appreciation the same way as it's been, especially with what's going on?
12%.
12%.
Yeah, but
Dude,
do you
by
see
the
that-
end of this year.
Do you see that happening next year though? That's the question.
You can't forecast the future. We can just tell you what's going on now. You'd be a douche to say, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Why is it so popular? Because it's really well designed.
I was going to say it's the new Summerlin, basically. But it is.
No, it isn't, because it doesn't have all the shopping.
It's coming.
You're right.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
And it's like new living. But the lots are smaller
Yeah.
because the land's more expensive. But it's very popular and it's all shiny and new, and people love living there.
Yeah. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, so you think buying there is better than saying buying an older property?
Well, it depends on what.
I think so.
Depends on what kind of buyer you are. If you're buying, if you are
get
a
what you pay
speculator,
for.
if you're a speculator, then you buy there,
You
right?
get what you pay for.
See, because I had a call yesterday, and I get calls all the time.
Yeah.
Is it better to buy a duplex or fourplex,
Don't buy any of that right now. You're wasting your money.
or
It's way
buy
overpriced.
or buy a new home or a newer home and still rent it out?
Okay, so that's where we go back. Are you a speculator or are you buy and hold? For me, I'm doing buy and holds because all I care about is cash flow. This place could be in a war zone, but if I'm getting $1,500 a month and I'm making a return of 10% because that's my threshold, those are cash cows, dude. Like if you look at all my properties right now, I'm not in the great desirable location, but I love them because they pay.
Also, location though.
What's up, Matt?
There's an important question.
You don't have to raise your hand. Just talk.
Please, sir, may I talk?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Would you like another helping?
Please, sir, may I have some more? May I get some toffee pudding? So listen.
Yeah.
C. Gardner, she's got a good question. She says, how do you choose a good realtor? Hello, I'm over here.
Let's do that again. Hello.
Hello.
Characteristics. You just have to wave and say, I'm right
Hello.
here.
No, seriously, to answer her question,
Yeah.
right? How people find realtors is usually what they do is they get lost online, they give their information to a bunch of strangers, and then those people call them up.
Granted, though, they don't know that that's happening.
No, it's a honey trap.
It is. And people always say, well, I didn't know I was going to get 1,000 calls.
Yeah.
They go
Yeah.
into it, and I'm like, look, I'm sorry about that. I really
Yeah.
am. But
Yeah.
I think people putting their information in, it's not a bad thing.
No,
Just understand, though, that the storm is coming.
no. So this is what I'd suggest, right? Unless you have a good source of knowledge like Chakits and our team and whatnot, then what's going to happen? You're going to have to give your information out to start looking at properties, and then those people are going to start calling you, or that information is going to be sold to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And they're going to start calling you, and you're going to get lots of calls. Now, the process is this. You talk to the people, you figure out which one you like the most and is the most knowledgeable and professional, and then you go and interview that person. And because this is a big deal, this is probably, for most people, it's like they buy 3 or 4 homes in their lives, and it's the biggest investment they make.
No, it is.
For the average person, for occupancy of a
Yeah.
home. And you should interview 2 or 3 agents and decide who's the person that's going to make
But they start
the
with
most
you,
money.
right? And
Well,
if you
no.
do a good job, then 2 and 3 doesn't even show up.
Exactly, but you do with what you trust
Yeah.
your gut,
Yeah.
and you trust like what you're hearing, and
Yeah.
they educate you, and you can only make one decision at a time.
I think what we need to do is really explain how internet marketing works so that way everybody understands this.
Yeah.
And
That's a good topic.
Yes, and I want to get to the bottom of this. It's and we're talking about these big websites like Trulia, Redfin, and all these companies. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with looking at these companies, but this is how it works.
They've got good technology.
Yes, I'm going to break the myth right now.
Mm-hmm.
Break it down.
So Zillow and Trulia, they're the same company. Great platform. I like it too as well because when you're looking online, it shows you all the information that you need, right? Now, so this is how it works. They specialize in marketing on paper ad clicks. So they're always on the top of the page. So every time you go to Google, you go Google homes for sale in Las Vegas, they're always on top, you click it. Now you realize the algorithm, right? It pushes you to the top. You look at the interface of the platform. The platform is like so easy to use. It gives you all the information that you need. You start looking at those properties. Now you're like, oh, I like this one. You click on the property. As you're looking through it, right? You're like, you know what? The interface is so easy to use. Right off on the right-hand side, you have realtors, right? And you also have lenders too, the contact information. Now, it may not be their listing, but this is how it works, okay? They reach on out to realtors across the nation, and they'll call up these realtors that are starving or that needs leads.
They pay a premium.
And they pay a premium. So this is what they say. Look, if you buy an advertised zip code with us, 89123, there's 10 spots open. Each spot will cost $500. How many spots you want? So this is how they're generating money. So this is a company that has billions of dollars now. They're taking this money, pumping it back into paper ad clicks, right? So that way the algorithm pushes their website back to the top. Now, when you call that agent, right, or you call that number because you like that home because you want more information, that agent jumps on the line because that's the zip code.
You paid money.
And then now he's trying to convert you, okay? So that may not even be his listings, but what I've found is that these websites will not have accurate listings. So some of the stuff that you do see...
Fake news.
Fake news. All right, let's hit it.
News.
Boom.
Boom.
No.
Fake news.
Or it's clickbait.
There you go, clickbait. So now, it technically is kind of a clickbait, but there are some properties on there that are still accurate, but what happens is the algorithm still holds that information that gets syndicated to like Realtor.com.
Yeah.
So if you go to LV Home Experts, right, is our website, we have access to all the properties, foreclosures, bank-owned properties, traditional sales, and also brand new homes. But the way that we designed this website, the interface, we only show you properties that are currently available. So as soon as it goes in pending status, you no longer get that email. That's the reason why we do this.
The other thing
Go ahead.
is we man the cannon to the website.
Oh, I got to say this correct. Man the cannon. Cannon.
No,
Cannon.
Man the cannon.
The cannon.
Not the canyon.
Yeah, cannon.
We take the canyon.
We take the cannon.
We man the cannon.
Man the cannon.
Wow. I haven't heard that terminology in a while. That's good, though.
I just
You ever
made
see MacArthur, right?
I don't know. I just think it sounds fun. And I do like to man the cannon.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie with MacArthur? I think he's like wasn't he like the big,
The general?
yeah, the general. He was the guy with all the cannons and
Maybe.
what? Yeah,
Was he?
We need cannons.
cannons.
Real estate.
I want to
cannons.
piggyback though on that Zillow
Yeah.
thing because
I have
I'm
something else to say about that after you.
gonna say you can say go ahead.
No. So I know,
You're like, no, go.
Okay, no. But this is something else with Zillow. Let me tell you. I want to give you some more background. What I just said. So Zillow was an internet company that sells advertising.
Yeah.
They make over $1 billion a year from realtors to sell advertising.
Yeah.
Now what Zillow are doing, they're like, well, why don't we get rid of the realtors? So they can't. It's a funny thing, but Zillow buys homes as well now.
Yeah.
They're flippers.
Yeah, aren't they losing out on money though?
You should never sell your house to Zillow ever because it's the most expensive convenience fee in America.
Dude, they gouge the hell out of you.
Oh, I love it. When I hear Zillow have been written an offer,
Yeah.
unless there's a pain situation with the seller where they need something super convenient and they don't care to give away 20, 30 grand.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'd rather do like 30 days of work for an extra 20, 30 grand if I was a seller.
But you also have to understand the position some of the sellers are in.
The pain.
Well, here's the thing. It depends on the condition of the property. Does the property meet conventional FHA guidelines or VA guidelines as far as the condition of the homes? Because not all homes will meet those conditions. Yeah. And sometimes people don't want to deal with the headache.
For sure.
And I understand.
Yeah, completely. But if you're able to sell your home properly using proper like preparation and procedure, you're going to make an extra 20, 30 grand now, if you're able to.
Now, I did have a client, and this is a client that me and Dan was working with. He was from Hawaii, and he bought a home out in the Northwest.
Aloha.
And when he bought the home, he decided that he wanted to move out to the Summerlin because of the schools, right? For his kids. He thought it was a better school. Mm-hmm. And we were on contract on this home. I was going to list his home, but he was willing to take a hit, and he sold it through Zillow.
It's convenient.
It was convenient for him.
It's the expensive convenience fee.
Correct. But he was also in a position where this guy makes like, $40,000 a month. So he's like, he doesn't care. So again, it just depends on your situation. Yeah, it just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
But for me, I would never go that route.
Well, you lose money going that route.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of money.
Well,
that's just up front.
Zillow, people trust Zillow.
Yeah.
But they're not doing this stuff for free.
Yeah.
And but you got to do what's best, and it's always good to get second or third opinion.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Dan?
No, I was going to say
before you were
rudely interrupted.
Yes.
Sorry, ADD.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We can go back. I was going to say something about Zillow.
Yeah.
Basically, Zillow and a lot of these companies like that, they help people, or they talk to lenders to get them to compensate to buy leads with the realtor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of those lenders on there, you're getting redirected.
Oh, they do the same thing.
Yeah, you're getting redirected back to the same lenders you see on that page. And that's what people don't understand. It's not just some random lender out there.
No.
But one of the things I want to say is that when it's funny because today everybody's mortgage companies are always looking to get business and they're always looking to buy leads.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that people actually, when they go through the application process with mortgage lenders, if they pull credit, right, and they put all the information in, there's actually other mortgage companies buying those same leads.
They're going to call you up.
And they called those same people up going, hey, I just saw that you pulled the mortgage application.
Did you just unleash
that is
the
crazy
interface of what's going on in the back end?
That's exactly what's happening on the back end.
It's not like the dark web, but it's like the back end of the back end.
Oh.
You don't even know. And it's crazy.
Should you even be saying that?
Well, look, yeah, because it's out there.
Back end of the back end?
Well, here's my thing is I've had clients call me and go, hey, I just had ABC Mortgage call me.
Yeah.
And they're asking me about, hey, you just pulled credit on getting a mortgage. Would you want to work with us? So they're selling leads as they're putting in the information,
and they're trying to earn your business at the same time.
Yeah, they're trying to backstab the other mortgage companies.
Data. So I'm guessing what's
technology nowadays, huh?
Is they get the inquiry, they know who you are, they see it happen, and then they scrape a bunch of data and figure out your name and phone number from other data sources, and then they sell that data, and people cold call you.
The data, it's the data companies though, like the ones that offer to pull credit. They're actually turning around,
selling it.
Some
of it, or sometimes with data's very valuable. Sometimes you get nefarious backdoor business where someone at the company takes all the data, takes it out the side door, and then sells it to someone else.
What I have to do is I have to remove the phone number and remove the email. They'll still get it.
They could find it if they're lucky.
They'll find it, but look, it's a lot harder. So when I pull credit on somebody, I have to remove the phone number and remove the email.
Otherwise, what happens is there's these like call centers in India where they pay someone like in the Philippines $1 or $2 an hour. They sift through all this stuff, and then you get some gold, and then that gold comes back to America and is sold for like $50. And they're like, this person may want to get a mortgage, and then people buy those leads for like whatever they buy them for, and then they figure out their conversion rate, and then it happens.
Also on some of these mortgage companies that, you know how you have like where your phone can hear what you say, or if you type something in or you search it, they have little tracking where they follow you after that.
Yeah.
It's like weird. Like all of a sudden, you know, if you said something like, you know, I don't want to say the name, but it was a big company that everybody knows about, it's online, all of a sudden their stuff starts appearing. It's like following them.
So listen to this. This
is crazy.
Okay. This is, I digress a little bit, but there's this experiment you can do with your phone.
Yeah.
Right? So say you don't have a cat, right? And then for a few hours you say cat and cat food.
Yeah, it pops up.
And then what do you see? Adverts for cat food.
Really?
Because we're being listened to and watched. because we're in.
Well, it's like
Big
this.
Brother stuff.
It's big company, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's big corporations that are paying this money, you know, and they're doing everything that they can to follow those people. Once they put the information in anywhere, they're trying to track them. The thing is you got to let people choose, and I feel like that's taking a lot of the choice out of a person actually trying to buy a home and using a lender that they want to use or a realtor, because they're just putting tracking monitors almost like as far as you go onto a website or you go onto something.
Well, I mean, we do the same thing too.
I mean,
as
I
well.
would say
I
this.
mean, it's all marketing,
You
dude.
still have a choice.
Yeah.
But we live in a predatory society that's now super high tech.
I think people don't know that though.
They don't know that.
They don't know that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes,
they
it's
don't.
competitive, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would be astonished of how that happens.
Yeah.
Do you know how they can avoid all of that?
How's that?
Reach out to Chakits. We'll sort you out.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, real quick, guys, let me know on the video right now if there's any type of lag on the volume or the. We got some lag. Let me know if there's some lag, because I feel like there's some lag. What's up?
We got John Anthony saying hello from Minnesota.
Oh, I wonder if it's cold right now out there, man.
Minnesota.
Not sure.
It's probably snowing already, right?
I like that movie Fargo. Have you seen Fargo?
Oh no, I haven't watched a movie for a while, dude.
So that's cool. And then
No lag, cool. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Someone, Dino Rivero said Cardinal Financial.
Cardinal Financial. Oh, somebody's trying to plug. Dan, you gonna let that happen,
no,
bro?
He said Cardinal Financial
It's a
mortgage
nightmare.
is a nightmare.
Is a nightmare.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
let's hit it.
Cardinal Financial is a nightmare.
Dan,
I don't even know who they are, but
all I know is every time we hit this, you got to be rocking your head,
I'm rocking,
bro.
man.
Bro.
What, you want me swaying? I'll be swaying like this. Do it again. We'll sway.
One more time. We got to hit it.
Let's go. Is that better?
There you go. Oh,
Okay.
man, I just threw out my bat.
Oh, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I'm a bobblehead.
I'm a bubblehead. What else questions do we have on here, man? Looks like we got a lot of comments on here. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I want to talk about, man, I was just jumping on my Facebook page.
Your missus is online.
Oh, what is she saying?
Jessica Matos.
How'd you know that was the missus?
I mean, it's my job. I'm a stalker.
No, she said Dan had it.
Hi, Jessica.
She hasn't came into the office probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Is that your boss?
Hey, my boss. Hey,
but you know what? Best assistant Chakits could find.
Best.
Hey.
That's for
The
sure.
best.
Well, okay. This is what I wanted to get to. I wanted to show
funny,
you guys
dude.
this. I was on Facebook the other day, right? Actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm lying. I was on Facebook this morning, and one of my old ads popped up because this is 5 years ago. I was actually looking at this apartment building.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was $820,000, and back then I just didn't have the money to pull the trigger, so I was trying to raise some money on this ad, looking for a cash partner.
And guess what happened?
Dude, so I looked at it. I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh my god, you know how much this unit is worth today?
1.4 million?
No, it's 2.2 million, dude. Oh, dude, like I'm kicking myself.
Hindsight's 2020.
Dude.
I saw you post that.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Well, that was like 5 years ago, but it you know how like on Facebook it shows up on your feed again. As soon as I seen that, I was like, oh my god. You know how much that thing spits out? $132,000 a year. That's at $550, bro.
Do you like wake up every day and you're depressed?
No, you know what?
Never do that.
I don't. I'm not, because
I would be not depressed, but I would be like, damn.
no, there's been so many times, and you know what? I do have a couple investment properties, so I'm lucky. I'm in a position where all my investments pay for like all my bills. Like I don't really have any bills. Everything I do is pretty much all 100%.
Yeah.
But there are times where I look back and said, you know what, Dan, I didn't pull the trigger on that duplex. I didn't pull the trigger on that one house. I didn't pull the trigger on that other house that I was under contract with. You know what I'm saying? Like
There was a period of time
Yeah.
where you were calling me going, I'm making an offer on another property.
yes.
It probably happened 6 or 7 times. I think you got a couple of them.
Yeah, no, I did, and I was just
But-
like too paranoid because that's the thing. Everybody's like, market's gonna tank next year. The market's gonna tank. That's why I never say anymore the market is gonna tank, because you don't know.
Nobody knows.
You just gotta play. You don't have to raise your hand.
I'm sorry.
We're not in school. You go ahead. All right. What it is you want me to put this right on you. I'm gonna go ahead. There you
Next
go.
time you do that, I'm going to look
Hold
up.
on. We might have a call. Ooh. Hello. Welcome to LV Home Experts radio show. You are on air. What's your name and what's your question?
Hey, Chakits, this is Mark. Yeah, just enjoying your live stream.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man. What's going on? Okay. Can you guys hear him?
Barely.
Turning up a bit.
Are you there? Oh, for some apparent reason, we can barely hear you. What's going on here? Let's see what here. Let's try this. Can we hear you? Mark, can you hear me? Hello?
He's gone.
He's gone. Why don't you try to call back? Well, let's just try this again. Are you there? Yeah. We could barely hear you. We could barely hear you. Let me try this. I'm going to call you right back, okay? Just hang tight. All right, now what were you guys saying?
I was just saying that, when we were looking at a lot of these investment properties that's going on, there's a lot of deals that you passed up on, but there's some that you took advantage. But I think, when people are telling you like, hey, don't buy these properties, I don't know. Like, what is your position on if somebody's, you do it on your own homework, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a home.
So I think one thing is the first one's always the scariest, but at the same time, you've got to get your trigger finger. You've got to practice.
You got to just go in all in on it.
Not
basically.
all in, but you have to do one.
You can't talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, you have to pull. You have to have the trigger finger ready.
Right.
And I know some people with enormous amounts of money that don't have a trigger finger.
All right, guys, I don't want to interrupt you.
And
Let's
they don't
get
make any
a
investments
Mark online.
out of fear.
Yeah.
But then other people, you just got to be on the playing field and you've got to run game.
All right, Mark, you there?
Run moves.
Yeah.
All right, what's your question, Mark?
Oh, yeah. I just want to share a story, and then I just got a quick question at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened was when I bought my house like 5 years ago here in Las Vegas, right here by St. Rose.
Okay.
I had a cool realtor, but then I just wanted to get comps lately because when I bought it at $250, it's probably now worth about $440, something like that.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, when I asked for something simple like, "Hey, can you just send me a comp?" and she said, "Yeah," but she puts me off, and then never hear from her again. I kind of like get peeved about that. It's just like, gee, when I move to my next house in a few years, it'll be $1.2 million or 1.3. I mean, how can I, you're only going to answer me if I want to buy something, not if I want a comp. That's just those things that little, kind of peeves that I'm peeved about.
Well, so, I'm sure she's going to reach on out to you. I mean, that's just, you have to understand this. When somebody says, hey, I want the comps, they can't do it right away. It may take a little bit later on into the day, then we'll run the comps. Also, just depending on your position. Sometimes I guess if people realize that you're not gonna serious about like selling the home, but you just want to know, she probably just forgot. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think she's like, I'm not gonna deal with it because, every realtor is in the business to make some money. So I don't think that's the situation here. I mean, did you try to reach on back out to her?
Yeah, but I've done it 4 times, but she's just
that's rude. She's rude.
Putting me off, it's just, okay, I get it. I might not be selling now, but in a few years when I am, once my son graduates from high school, it's just like, okay, now you want to talk to me. Yeah. And it's just, it's kind of like, okay, well, that's a double standard.
I want to say this. I think the mindset is that they have time. Because it's going to be further out in the future.
Yeah, so they feel like probably don't got to get to you, right?
And they probably think like, well, I've given him enough information or her that they're going to stick around, but they don't really know what the other person's thinking. So a lot of realtors, including lenders, they kind of push this off where they feel like, well, they do. They feel like, well, I've already established rapport. I've already got the relationship. She trusts me or he trusts me.
There's a statistic though, right? I don't remember it exactly, but John told me it. The amount of time that a person that buys a property uses the agent again, the percentage, or if they bought a house and they use that same person to sell it, they don't even remember that person. And that person doesn't stay in touch. It's like 10% of the time.
Well, I think it's gratification. If you're not constantly in front of your clients, what happens is once your client is ready to buy something, it's pretty much whoever calls them first.
And that's where the whole thing came in earlier. Where, like, people call you. And the thing is if you've got something good and you have a connection with someone and you trust them, use them again. But there's no harm in interviewing other people because at the end of the day, you need the right tool for the right job.
So I guess, Mark, let me ask you this. What do you think? What do you think is enough time for a realtor to get back?
A couple of days, but it's been like months. And then I bring it up again through text. And she'd be like, okay, she'd brush me off again. So I took count, as a client, I took count. Like, okay, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4.
Yeah.
But it was just like, okay, it's just something simple in the, email. You could just run a comp, throw me an email. It takes about 5 minutes when you're out.
Let's back up. It does not take 5 minutes to run a comp. I mean, you can pull the data, but you can do it quick, right? I mean, it really depends. I mean, if you're going to run the comps, you're going to do it the right way. The right way is to see what the comparables are, print everything out, and email on everything over. Also, depending on the upgrades that you've done to your home too as well. So, I mean, it does take more than 5 to 10 minutes. It does take some time because you got to pull out that data. But as far as sending that email, it should know, I would say 24 hours.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. Something else, though, is she attractive?
Well, 5, 6 years ago she was, but then she aged a bit. So,
Mark,
just kidding.
Mark, whatever you do not drop this name. You're gonna get us fired.
Hey, Chuck it. So what happened was I got another realtor, and then he was just all out on me, like he was throwing me comps left and right.
Good.
But the thing is, he doesn't have as much knowledge as you do when it comes to like high-end properties.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, you could pull up a bunch of $1 million homes, but I need to know, like, if I'm going to be spending that much in 4 years, I need to know the details. Like, okay, is this baseboard good enough, or the contracts? What are my, like you mentioned earlier, my clause and all this other stuff, legal stuff.
You make a good point. When it comes to the high-end homes, it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. It's not like a track home. But also, I don't want to discredit new agents that are hungry, because the ones that are hungry are the go-getters, and they're also going to make it. They're going to make it happen for you. But yeah, when you start getting into the high end, you definitely want to work with somebody that's a go-getter, but not only that understands custom home building, because this is important. You buy a custom home build, you better have the standard items going into the deal. Because if I'm spending $1.5 million, you have to understand that somebody that spends that kind of money is not only looking at one neighborhood. They're looking at the whole valley of what they can get for 1.5. They want to see what's going on with the market. It's a whole different mindset out there, man.
Right. He did take me to a couple of spots in Summerlin, but the area in Summerlin wasn't for me, because it's not like, and I didn't feel like at home compared to St. Rose.
Yeah.
I wanted to move more up in the 89052 zip code, or the Horizon. Seven Hills area.
This is here.
Yeah, he trying to hang out with us.
We're here right now.
Yeah. So that's where I feel more at home than going to like Bishop Gorman and
gotcha.
Summerlin area.
One other thing, right, is that people think new agent, it's not just showing the house, right? It's like playing chess.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're the person playing chess in the real estate transaction, and you got to make sure you know all the moves, you know all the ways that they could get you, and all the ways you can get them, so you can put them in checkmate and make money and get what you want. And that is like strategy. And that's where expertise and knowledge or intelligence comes in with who's representing you.
Right. And then sometimes when I talk to the agent, I'm just saying, hey, give me just these houses on this zip code and this street, nowhere past a certain area, because I don't want these zip codes. And then he's just throwing me a bunch of $1 million homes. I go, dude, you need to listen.
Listening's
you just listen to me.
Now, it really depends on the type of client. Like, if a client just calls me and they're just kind of in the beginning stages, we would actually kind of set them up on more of a broad search, so that way they can kind of shop around and see what's going on, what they can get for the money. But once they start getting more serious, that's where we start dialing it in, right? Once we start dialing it in, now we're going to stop sending you automatic emails. Now we're going to start hand picking through these things. So that way we're not wasting time. So just depending how far you are at the process, and this is where it comes down to communication, because when I first start with a client, I'm going to explain to them, hey, this is what I'm going to do right now. Some of the properties that you get, you probably may not like. It doesn't fit your criteria, but I want you to see what you're going to get for your money.
Oh, definitely.
And what's going on out there. But then we'll start narrowing it down.
I Right. I've lived in Vegas for 6 years now, so I've narrowed it down to like 2 safe areas where, you can grow up with your kids.
Yeah.
So it basically came down to like Summerlin and Henderson.
Yeah.
But it's just more of like now it's just picking the right agent. So I'm leaning towards you, Chakits, in a few years.
I appreciate that.
When I upgrade and maybe list my house. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to list this or rent it out.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I'm debating. So I've narrowed it down to those 2 areas just to let you know.
Well, hey, I do appreciate that, Mark. Now, here's the thing. This is what I want you to do. I want you to work with this agent first, okay? Because he sounds like a go-getter. If it doesn't work,
he is.
If it doesn't work, then we would love the opportunity to earn your business, because I would never want to take money from another realtor, and it sounds like he's stepping up to bat. Let him get a couple swings. It may work out, it may not work out.
Well, there's some kind of like things that I get annoyed at, like the expertise part. Like when we were going to the guard gated areas, it was just like, dude, just show your realtor card. So I had to like kind of coach him what to do, just because the guard was just calling off the owner to let us in. It was just, show him your realtor card, dude. He's just like a newbie. Like, oh, this guy's new.
No, I gotcha. Like I said, give this guy a shot. But I definitely would love the opportunity to earn your business. And I do appreciate your calling, okay?
Definitely. And you're at the top of my list, just to let you know. I got your number, Chuck.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day now.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
So we got, Chakits, we got some questions up here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got, this is kind of interesting. So Sam I Am, right? Mm-hmm. I won the lotto a couple years ago.
Oh, shit, nice.
I think I'm ready to buy some property. Can you guys help? Then he also said, anybody want to trade gold for property? Maybe like up to 1.22 mil.
Whoa.
And then let's talk about that.
Well, before we get into it real quick, call into studio 702-319-1092. Also, I wanted to say that if you guys did call into studio, I do apologize by not answering the call. If you guys want to call back into studio again, 702-319-1092.
I want to tell a story about some experiences where people have windfalls.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's happened twice, and twice, I won't go into all the specific. I'll go into specifics, but basically they got like money, and then they live in Vegas. They're not used to having money. They bought a house for cash. They were very happy. Yeah. And then within 1 year, all the money was gone, and all they had left was a house that they paid cash for. And then I had to sell the house for them.
Oh, wow.
Because they couldn't manage their money. It was unfortunate.
That's pretty effed up.
They spent 1.2 million in a year.
Oh my gosh.
Man, what were they doing? Probably gambling, huh?
I mean, Vegas is a tricky place. If you've got a gambling problem.
Do you guys know anybody that's addicted to gambling? Like, I don't think I know
not
anybody.
in my circle of people.
Yeah.
But I come across it all the time. Gambling, drugs, drinking, divorce.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
You can get wiped out here. So you have to be really careful.
Really?
Don't put your money in the machines.
Everything's moderation.
Yeah.
But when you start, it becomes more of, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like I see people all the time.
So I had some
these problems.
Clients.
Do you think gambling is more addicting than drugs?
I think it's on the same level.
It's the same thing. And
like, what is addiction?
Okay,
like
I know what this is.
All right.
Right. So it's something to do with your dopamine receptors.
Yeah.
So like if you.
So you're stimulating it, right?
You're stimulating it. And now the machines are very cleverly designed. When you go into casino, everything's in the key of C. Because C is the most attractive thing.
That's why they have the lights and everything, the music. Damn, they're so good at marketing.
It's deep psychology to get you to tap.
Dude, that's crazy.
You know? So be careful and buy real estate.
Some of the casinos too, they don't have any clocks. There's
they
no
never
windows.
Do.
Yeah, there's no windows. They don't want you. They just want you to.
They want to.
So
take
it's almost
your money
an environment.
Yeah.
To take your money.
It is a stimulation because I always see the people that are like, cling, 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 just hitting that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Now, let's go back to that question. Something about gold or something, right?
Oh, yeah. So could you trade gold to buy a house?
I mean, you could do anything.
You could, but you couldn't do it through an escrow company.
Well, you don't need to do it through an escrow company. I mean, technically, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. I would do $100 for the transaction through escrow. So that way, free and clear title.
Oh,
then.
Is that legal?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I would do. And then just have an attorney. Yeah, and take the gold. Have an attorney involved. You're doing a side transaction that has nothing to do. I mean, you're buying a home for $100,000.
It's a trade.
Or $100. You see what I'm saying?
One asset for another asset.
Yeah.
But one thing you need to make sure.
Yeah.
That it's not fool's gold.
Right.
Because otherwise the joke's on you.
That's right. How would you determine that, by the way? Do you know, like you were, I think you talked about that before.
You bite it.
Oh, is that
no.
How do you determine that, though, like if it's real gold or not? You have to take it down to somebody, right?
Well, I smell it. I'm like, this real 24, because this Asian gold, this real gold.
You know the different types.
I know. I know.
You know where it came from?
Oh, this came from Hong Kong. Now, talking about that, let's get into Bitcoin real quick. And I really wanted Brett on this show to talk about Bitcoin, so we're not going to talk about this too much on this subject until we get Brett on here because he's the expert. But a few months ago, there was another article that I read where when Bitcoin was popping off, that there was a guy out in Florida with a high rise was willing to trade his high rise for Bitcoin, dude. But during that time period, I think it was only like 400. No, it was like 4,000 per Bitcoin. But now it's like what, 18,000?
18,000.
I don't know, man. That thing is too volatile for me, and I feel like there's no tangibility for that thing. It's not tangible.
It's all about consumer confidence.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
I mean, if you're willing to go buy something because you think the value's there, and others do, then you're going to get your money.
So let me ask you this, Dan. Would you rather have a $1 million custom home, right?
Yep.
Or $1 million worth of Bitcoin right now?
That's a good question.
I'm going for the tangible asset, bro. I'm taking a house.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do the house too. Although,
yeah,
Bitcoin is showing no signs of slowing down either. So
what happens if that thing goes to like $1 million?
Well, it's a finite resource.
They're talking 50,000. It could go up to like.
I heard $1 million. I don't know how serious that is. Yeah,
we don't know, but I'm just saying it's on pace to go to 50,000. You know, and so go ahead.
I was gonna. There was another question. This girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so, green-eyed DL baby. Hello.
Baby, green-eyed baby. Let's hit it.
Green-eyed DL baby had a question. Can you scroll up a bit?
I was lost. I was like, what is he talking about? I thought that was the question.
Oh, you want me to go back and scroll up?
She said it was a decent question actually.
Is it more up?
But up, a little bit more.
I thought you were gonna say something.
Okay, she goes, what about houses being built with plywood and not concrete? Lennar was just exposed. The houses are weak, yet they charge so much for these homes. Shouldn't this be told to you when you're buying the house?
Well, I made a video on the questions that you need to ask a builder, what comes with the home. Also, you have to take a look at the environment of or the climate where you live. Here's why. You build a home with concrete, your AC unit would go.
It's going to be hot.
It would just be skyrocket. That's why, like,
stucco is the king for the desert.
That is correct. Now, you couldn't take stucco and go to Hawaii. You would have to build a plantation home. Yeah. Because if you had stucco,
and then you've got termites.
Correct.
No,
so these are things that you have to take a look at. Now, in the Midwest, you got basements. They're not going to build you a basement out here. Now, there are some homes that do have a basement out here.
Okay.
But it smells like all moldy. I don't like it.
Well, let me tell you, with the basement stuff, American West used to have a basement model, and they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Because it was more expensive to build the basement than what they could charge for it, and people didn't really care. Basements are in cold climates where you have to go down so that the bottom of the house is below the frost line in the winter. That's why you have a basement.
Yeah, I want to say something though. You know, so a lot of these new homes, and maybe you can enlighten me on this, Chuck. These homes seem like they're cheaply built. I'm sure it's because of where our demographics is, and it's very hot here.
Builders want to make money.
But it's like, you know, you look at some of these houses, and it's, you know, you barely touch them, and you got a big dent, you know, or some of the stuff is just not real wood, you know. I don't know. To me, it just seems like they're not cheaply made, but I think they're made obviously to get the builder the most money in return.
Right.
But also they're just, I don't know if it's because of the area, because it's Vegas and it's hot and it stays cooler.
So, I mean, the reason they use stucco and wood out here is for insulation and cost as well. And it's the norm. But then the other thing is I had this, I mean, I used to work for a hedge fund. We would buy homes like crazy. I buy 10 or 15 homes a day for cash as rentals during the crash.
Right? Really?
Yeah, for invitation homes.
Really?
Yeah, I was director of acquisitions there.
Huh.
And so then I thought to myself, well, what about these old neighborhoods that are like built in the 50s or 60s?
Those have like the real.
So let's imagine we're going to be dead like at some point, you and I.
Yeah.
And then we're selling all these homes. Now, what are these homes going to be like in 100 years' time?
And I think that's a good question. Do you think they should renovate those homes and start over with the new? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, what's going to happen? Because there's going to be all individual ownership, and unless you did eminent domain. But we're talking about like the planning of Vegas society in 100 years' time.
Well, the question,
what does that look like? We have no idea.
Here's the question I have, and maybe you don't know.
We're going to be dead. So we don't care.
We don't know.
We're just having a chat.
Yeah, we're just having a chat.
Okay.
But I've always wondered, you know, you look at like old buildings in LA and California.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, well, I
They're
don't know.
Still there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is with all the new technology and the cost to make these buildings, regardless if it's commercial or residential, why wouldn't you just start over?
Well, that's what they do. Infill. That's why people buy old homes knock them down.
There's a lot of homes though that are real old.
Yeah,
especially here that they don't. They keep them and there's
I know. I tell you what's really cool. I love the classic mid-century modern. Like if you go down to old school Vegas, like Rancho Estates, Bel Air Estates, Las Vegas Country Club, which was the first country club.
holds a premium down there, dude.
Yeah, and do you know what's happening in Las Vegas?
I love
Country
McNeil
Club?
Estates, dude.
It's gentrification.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old people that have been there forever. They're like the original people. And then younger people and different people are coming in, fixing the homes up, and it's becoming more eclectic and pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually bought a couple properties down there.
Yeah, I remember.
It's all like historic homes, and you're absolutely right. A lot of young people are coming out there. Now, they don't tear it down. They keep the authenticity of the home, but they just like revamp the interior.
They redo it.
Yeah.
They don't just keep it the same, and it's like, and that's kind of what my argument is
Well, they add internet.
When did they start doing that to homes?
Well, this was probably going on like since I would say probably about 8 years ago. But now like the homes down there are just so expensive. It's like
crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But you're really buying in a historic neighborhood.
Yeah.
What other questions we got? Oh, real quick, call into studio 702-319-1092. Also, we have been getting a lot of calls in, but I have not been answering the phone. Such a douchebag move. I'm so sorry. Go ahead and call back into studio 702-319-1092. What's another question we got?
Tina, 888. I lived here for over 50 years.
Yeah.
And the houses are too expensive now. In 1963, our home cost $30,000 in North Las Vegas.
All right. Before we do that, let's take a call.
Okay, we're doing a
Welcome to LV Home Experts live radio show. What's your name and what's your question?
Okay, my name is Melissa Nunez, and my question, or more is rather a statement.
Okay.
Regarding the Bitcoin, whether it's something rather than Bitcoin for $1 million or purchase a real estate for
Okay, hold on for just a second. Seems like we cannot, for some apparent reason. Are you there? You got disconnected. Let me give her a call back. So she was talking about Bitcoin, so let me give her a call back.
She was referencing to the question we had.
Yeah, no. Let me see here. Let me get this call real quick. I don't know why it is doing this. You know what I'm saying?
It's all right.
Yeah, this is all test run.
There's a lot of stuff going on with Bitcoin, man. There's a lot of people out there that are really believing
hello, are you there?
This is going to take over.
Are you there? Yeah, I don't know what is going on. Let's see here. Are you there? Yeah, you know what? Let's see what's going on. You there? Yeah, sometimes the audio on this, I don't know what's going on.
We had the audio before. It was going on perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Wonder why it's different now.
My sister's husband, really young, smart kid, made a blooming fortune off of Ethereum. The guy didn't work
Hold on,
for
man.
like 2 or 3 years.
Wow. Ethereum's like another form of crypto, right?
It's another crypto, but it's way. I think I don't know. It trades for like 300 a coin.
Yeah, I want to. Are you there, man?
It's a lot less.
Yeah,
but it's still the confidence is there.
I don't understand.
It's so hard. It's so hard to hear. I don't know what is going on here. Okay, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We'll just try to go with it.
Yeah. Okay. What's your question, ma'am?
Okay. It was just regarding for $1 million or whether you like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
At Bitcoin. And all I was going to say is that, like somebody said there, it's been going up. It's been going up more and more than has ever been going down.
So Dan, you want to repeat what she was saying so that way the audience can hear what she's saying?
Yes, she's basically saying that the Bitcoin has been increasing over the last few months.
Yeah.
And is it a wise move? Potentially, this is what I'm getting from it. Is that a better move because they see it going up, or we see signs of it continuing to go up, than buying that $1 million home? And for me, it's always about case by case. But I do foresee, and I've talked to numerous people.
Yeah.
That have said it can go up to $50,000, and it's increasing very rapidly right now, although it's slowed down just a little bit, but all the cryptocurrencies are doing very well. Is she still there?
You there, ma'am?
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes, I am. And also I was going to say, too, that and you purchase a house with Bitcoin, do you know, like, road, that house will continue to pay you over and over and over again?
Well,
because we don't know how high Bitcoin is going to go, but it's always proved itself to continue to go up instead of down.
I personally think that if you get a tangible asset, it's like stocks, or like buying something. There's bonds, there's stocks. I think the safe haven is going and buying a house, tangible asset, because you always have a return on investment, regardless how much, or the same return might not be as big. Let's say if you bought Bitcoin, but it's probably a little bit safer bet. Where Bitcoin, it's all about consumer confidence. It's really just like playing the stock market. As long as people have confidence in these cryptocurrencies, they're going to continue to go up. But if something happens in the economy or the market, I don't see it going away. But for me, I think I'm probably going to take the safer bet, especially if I'm risking that much money.
Also, though, you can't live in a Bitcoin.
Well, I think it has a little bit easier way of being manipulated.
Okay, so the question here now is, would you rather have cash, right, or Bitcoin?
I would rather have an asset, not cash, that I can use, because no matter what currency we have, because cash is
paper.
It's a form of currency.
Yeah. But it's a dying form of currency.
Correct. You can always trade out a house for whatever currency is going on at that time.
And not everybody's going to take Bitcoin right now.
Correct.
Because, if somebody came to me with $1 million cash, or it says, you want my Bitcoin, I think I'm going to take the cash.
Although, if I have cash and I want to diversify,
yeah,
I would buy Bitcoin. Why? Because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
I have another question.
Well, let me ask you this. Did the caller stated, is she going to take the house or is she going to take the Bitcoin?
She's just trying to get an idea of both sides of it.
Gotcha. Do you own any Bitcoin, ma'am?
I do.
Okay, nice. So let me ask you this. The question is, would you rather do the $1 million home or would you rather take a Bitcoin right now?
I would rather take Bitcoin, to tell you the truth. Bitcoin.
See, I don't know anything about Bitcoin.
It's going up. And
that's all I know. I feel like it's volatile.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
It is volatile, but I would rather take that risk because it has proved over the many years that it's been in existence of going up.
Yeah. Look, like I said, as long as consumer confidence, and I don't see any signs of this, I'm going to go back. I was really close to buying Bitcoin. I have bought Bitcoin, but I was in the very beginning stages, and I kicked myself, just like Chuck says with these investment properties. Consumer confidence isn't going anywhere on Bitcoin, also on all these cryptocurrencies. And so for me, I don't think there's a bad bet. It's just, is there more of a safer bet or is there a more conservative bet? Probably the house. That's what I'm saying. But I think if you invest in either one, you're going to make a profit.
And what's the point where you were trying to make? You were saying something.
Oh, me?
No, I was talking to man. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, that's okay.
It was inappropriate.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't want to do that. So, ma'am, thank you so much for calling in. We have another caller. I do appreciate your time, and you have a blessed day, okay?
Okay, you too. You'll have a happy Thanksgiving,
too. You.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, this is Chuck. Welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show. What is your name and what is your question? Okay. Are you there? Hello? All right, we're going to move on. What's the next question?
Maiko's show, are you guys anticipating a dip in the market, and any advice for a 28-year-old getting into real estate going into 2021?
Yeah, buy Bitcoin.
Well, I had a question. I had what if my son does it?
Yeah.
Would you rather do this or do that?
There's no real bad way of anything.
Well, here's the question.
Play your own game.
If you were forced to go to a strip club, would you rather have a pocket of Bitcoin or a pocket of cash?
Well, money's kind of dirty, so I think I'm going to do Bitcoin.
But will they take Bitcoin? See, that's the question.
I don't know. It's a quandary.
Right.
All right, let's take a call.
Not that I would ever do that.
Hello, and welcome to LV Home Experts. What's your name and what's your question? All right, you know what? There's something going on here.
It's your connector.
Yeah, it is. It's the connection. I'm so sorry. Here, let me see if I can make this.
You got to hold it a certain way.
Well, let's answer
Obviously.
that. Let's answer that question real quick. Real quick.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
Which one?
We got this gentleman on the phone. You there?
So I want to go back to it as well.
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, go ahead. What was your question? I'm sorry.
And I'd like to know that when it gets windy, when the season is, and whether it makes you actually hotter or colder because the winds are hot.
Go ahead and answer that question.
Okay, so we have it can get windy here. We're in the desert. Often in the monsoon season, it's pretty windy, right? Which is, I would say, like it was about 3 months ago.
Yeah, it gets windy and it gets like a really cold chill because there's no mountains, so it continuously just keeps blowing. Like in California, they have high mountains.
Right now, with the wind, some things are important.
Yeah.
People get like patio structures or like covers and canvas.
Sure.
And it just rips it out.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Even, the pavilion in Henderson, there was a big monster pavilion with like steel and cables and super like, architectural
I think
canvas.
the elevation
It just
plays a
got
part
ripped
though
off.
too. Like if you have an elevation where, let's say you go in like the 89123,
Yeah.
or even like in like let's say you go up towards Seven Hills.
Yeah.
As you start getting
get
higher on the
windier.
elevation.
Yeah. Because the wind kind of blows it through down the valley, right?
Exactly.
But do you know what the good thing about the wind?
Yeah.
It keeps it fresh.
That's true.
Does it?
Well, let's ask this caller this. I'm kind of curious. Why'd you call in to ask this question? Is that like a compensating factor to be moving out here to Las Vegas?
Yes, I live in California in the San Francisco Bay Area, and the weather's always temperate here. But I'd like to move to Las Vegas, but I'm concerned that the winds are something we're not used to because we hear friends who live in the Las Vegas area talk about the wind and how fierce it is. So that's something that we've never experienced.
Yeah, I don't think it's like tornado type. I mean, every once in a while, I mean, it gets windy, but I do like the wind.
It's compensated by good temperatures.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think though that the wind does pick up here pretty good. I mean, I'll be honest. I've had some stuff in my backyard kind of get torn up. There was a couple times like about a year or two ago that we had really bad winds. So it doesn't happen frequently though. But when there is some occasions where it does rip through like some canopy, like you said, or blows. If you had some type of umbrella or something, it can rip it right out. If you have it outside or something.
The other thing, if you want to combat the wind, don't eat too many beans.
Matt's always got jokes.
You're a crazy dude, man. I like it.
Keep the pinto beans down.
Sir, did you have any other questions for us?
Actually, I do. So, like right now, we as soon as COVID's over, we're thinking of renting an apartment for about a year to see if we like to get used to the weather and going back and forth between California and Nevada. And in the meantime, we could look for a house. What's your recommendation? Should we do that, or should we actually buy a starter home first and then live in the starter home for 2 years before we actually upgrade to a larger home?
Well, I get this question asked all the time, but I would say about 99.9% of the time, my clients would just end up buying a home, and here's why. You got to look at what's going on with the market. If we've already gone up 12%, and let's just say it goes up another 4% next year, what will you be paying? Also, the Las Vegas Valley, from one end to the other end, is only 30 miles. It's not that long. You spend a whole day here with me, you're going to figure out immediately where you're going to want to be.
Plus, the thing, too, is there really a separation between what you're going to pay in rents versus buying a home?
Good point, and I was going to get to that.
So I think you have to evaluate that. If you're going to pay the same or roughly the same, why not pay yourself forward?
Yeah, so all you got to do is take a look at the numbers based upon the location that you like, see what the rents are in those areas, and if you went to go out and got financing, right, or get financing, find out exactly what your monthly mortgage is going to be. If it's only like $100 more, if it makes sense for you and your family, then go ahead and pull the trigger. But let's just say if it goes up 3%, you already know now you're chasing the market, and now you're losing purchasing power. So, to answer that question, only you can answer that question. All we can do is give you the information that you need, and then you got to run with it. And hopefully that answers your question, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it does.
All right, thank you so much for the call, and you have a blessed day now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was a cool call.
That's true. It's on a case-by-case basis. Everything's different, and you need the information to do what's best.
Yeah.
And then you pull the trigger.
That's right. Go back to that question, because we started it and then we got that phone call.
Are you guys anticipating a dip in the market And any advice for a 28-year-old getting into real estate going into 2021?
I want to say.
I thought I said that. Bitcoin.
You did.
Now, what are you saying?
I think that, and this is just my opinion. If you're buying a primary, it doesn't matter.
No, you need shelter.
Yeah.
And why pay rent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
that goes back again. Exactly. Number one, what can you qualify for? What your type of loan is, what your down payment is going to be, how much is coming out of pocket, what your monthly mortgage is going to be, where do you want to live?
I think if you're trying to buy a house to say, is it a right time and is the market going to go down?
It's hard to time the market, dude.
There's nothing. I mean, here's the thing. You can't, but regardless, let's say you live in the house for a year and it goes down 4%.
Yeah.
And then the following year it goes up 8%. Now you're really up 4%, right? Because now that's what's increased since you bought the house.
Yeah.
Regardless, homes always go up and down.
Yeah.
Overall, if you need a place to stay, you're going to have a set payment. So if you have to go rent, you don't have to worry about it. I've rented and they want to raise rents and
All
give
the
you
time.
fees.
Yeah.
Any
All
chance
the
they get. Any chance they get. So
Aren't they raising the rents on you?
yeah, I mean they're starting to, but the thing is I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying people are always looking to raise rents. They're always looking to change
course.
things.
Well, the other thing with the rentals is like statistically, right now, if you own a home or rent a home, statistically, you're going to get about an extra 700 square foot of home. If you own the home, you're going to get a bigger home for the same price. Also, if you look at the rentals that are out there, they're not that nice. Like
No, they're not.
1800 bucks a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting you can get lucky, but like if you own the home, you can make it nice and it's your space.
Also, don't forget rents or quarterly. They actually follow the market, and what I mean by that is, as home pricing goes up, rents always increase too as well.
Here's what
it's a
can say.
correlation of the market.
Yeah, I mean, you always say what the upgrades are, but what's the fascinating thing to me is that, I bought a home and I sold it for a premium. But the reality is that you don't always get back.
Sucker, you got him.
I got him.
You got him.
Hey, but you don't always get. Here's my thing: is you don't always get back.
No. No.
What you put into it.
No, you're absolutely right.
You
don't.
do it.
And not only that, and this is a good example. Like my mortgage right now is only like $930. My home is worth probably about $350. I'll end up walking away with probably like I would say $170,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I can pocket that money, but now I got to go rent something. The average rent for a comparable to my home is about $2,200. Times that.
There you go.
Right?
12.
By 12, how much is that? Like 24,000 and some 25,000. And I made like 150. So if I stayed in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, there goes all my money. Right? It doesn't make any sense.
I think it's like this: if you have to rent, or you want to rent just because you want to see the market, that's your option. If you're saying, is there a right recipe of
There
buying?
isn't.
There's not.
It's your situation.
Case by case.
Understand the market. What's going on?
If you're going to go buy a second home and you're looking at the market to see if you're going to make a profit off it, buying a home is not a way for you to look and say, is this going to give me a return on investment? And that's why I'm buying it. Am I buying this at a timing, the timing right? Just like you said, investment properties, you're not buying them to see if is there any type of dip in the market. You're buying on what you're going to get in return. So I think each individual property has its purpose, but buying a house, you're not going to buy it to say, I want to get a return. And, is there the right time? There is no right time.
Yeah. Crystal Hickerson says, Chuck, it's you guys need a producer to handle the calls. Well, here, we talked about this yesterday. As a real estate agent.
Well, Chakits, you're our top producer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry, obviously, yeah.
So basically, I'm the producer, the editor. I'm everything.
You're like the guy with all the instruments tapped to you.
He's the jack of all trades.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What was I, Dan? The Oracle? Is that
Oracle.
The Oracle. Let's say that again. Here we go.
You
used to rock, man. You're not even rocking. Now you're just looking at questions.
I know. He's sliding down his chair, dude. He's getting tired, dude.
Here's a question. This is a good question.
Look at his demeanor, dude. He's like halfway down the chair.
He's going to be on the floor like this.
I'm like slipping.
All right, let me read the next question.
Okay. So look,
dude, we got some good questions on here, man. Let's hit them.
Here's a good question. Okay. Let me find it. Hang on. Okay. The Sport 78. Mortgage forbearances end next year, which will drive inventory up and prices down.
Explain what that is. And he's saying December 31st of 2020.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
So, due to COVID, the mortgage providers were offering forbearance, which means you don't have to pay your mortgage. They could tack it on the back end.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have taken it.
Yeah.
Mostly people in Las Vegas that have had their incomes affected. Maybe like the 300 or 1,000 people from the Strip.
Yeah.
Who or lost their job or work in a restaurant or the barman that's not making money anymore. Now, the mortgage companies don't have to report this data to anyone.
Yeah.
It's private, right?
What's that? Reporting?
The forbearance?
Well, it's always private.
Well, it's online. I've seen it online. It
No,
we only know when the notice of default happens.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That agreement with that individual, they're not going to publicize that.
No, it's private business. So in reference to the question, we're not exactly sure, like, how many people that are in forbearance now. We don't exactly know.
Yeah.
I do know that it's declined.
In Vegas.
Yeah, actually, no, overall.
It's
Vegas is going to be one of those places that I think it's going to be maybe hit a little bit harder just because there's a lot of people with the Strip.
Right.
But overall, I think it's declining.
Well, here's my theory.
Well, here's the statistics that I want to read to you really quickly. It says right here that the mortgage forbearance dropped to 6.93% as of September, according to the data from the Mortgage Bankers Association. So we have roughly about 3.5 million homeowners right now.
So
I mean, that's a lot, dude.
I have an opinion. I wonder.
Well, that's not that much throughout the whole nation, though.
No,
it's not.
It's really low.
So
but what are you saying?
In Vegas,
yeah.
So a lot of people we've had huge gains. So there's a lot of these homes have equity in them, and people are not going to want to lose their house.
Yeah.
So those people that can't get it together to start paying their mortgage again because they haven't been able to figure out their income, they're probably going to have to sell their homes. Now, if that happens though, right, we only have a 1.7 month supply of homes here. So I think that the homes, what's going to happen maybe in February, March, we may have a bit more choice for homes for people to buy.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have a crash because all the homes are going to get snapped up really quickly.
Well, the number of the percentage of people, the percentage of people that are in forbearance, that's not going to determine if we're going to crash. It's got to be a pretty big number.
It's going to be a systemic thing.
Yeah, it's got to be something where it's
well, unemployment is going to be a big factor because we're at 15% on unemployment too as well. So
but locally or nationally?
What?
Locally or nationally?
Locally.
But
that's a pretty big number for Las Vegas.
It is, but I've heard if that number, it's also declining though as well. And look, are we all going through this? Yeah, I mean we're going through it, but that doesn't mean
it's a shuffle.
Yeah, it's not going to be like it was when we saw the market crash because that
was systemic.
No,
Wall Street.
we could have a slight regression where it pulls back a little bit and then houses start to dip a little bit.
Or people have more choice to buy homes.
Going back, but I wouldn't say, well, we're now we're dipping now, or this market's slowing down, or we're now going the other direction. I wouldn't hold back on buying a house. I would buy it because the
rates are low. People buy homes on payments.
Correct.
Mostly.
Correct. You're 100% right.
I don't know, man. It's
payments have never been lower.
The average price for a home right now across the valley, not the median, the average is $420,000. That's 8 times the average household income. So for Vegas, that's kind of high.
That's why they're building apartment complexes.
Now, if you're from California, that ain't nothing. No. I understand. If you're from New York, I understand.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's going to be tough on locals.
But it is. But you got to realize though, we have so many people that are coming from other states,
and that's who our locals are competing with. Yeah.
Do you know what the takeaway of this should be for local people?
Yeah. What?
You need to get your ass into a home if you're renting. You just need to get a house because it's going to change over 5 years. And if you're able to get into a home, you need to make that happen. Otherwise, you might be left out in the cold in the future.
And you know what? That's why I kind of regress because it's I sit here and is the market going to go up or is it going to go down? 3 years later, I'm like, damn it, I should have bought.
Yeah.
Damn it, I should have bought. You just don't know, man.
Well, I think I'm going to wait until properties get down to 75,000 to 100,000 again.
Oh, I really hope.
Not just playing. That might never happen.
Oh, you know what? That's a bad thing because if I'm hoping for that, basically,
the economy's bad.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to be bad.
But
for
I'm going to say
everybody,
this:
so.
I don't see that market coming back.
Really?
So I don't think so.
I don't know either. It's I'm just kind of confused.
There's got to be something that, like you said, systematically has an issue where it forces everything to drop.
Yeah.
And all sectors become a problem. But I don't know. I think that for me, it's always like this. There is no real knowing of when to buy a house. But if I had to go and buy a primary residence to live in, I'm not so focused on the market and what it's doing. Obviously, if it appreciates, great. But I'm buying it for the family or I'm buying it for me.
Well, you got to have a roof somewhere.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do. I mean, it's the same if you were going to rent. I mean,
exactly.
If you're renting, you're doing the same thing. You're just paying for another place to live. You know?
But now, if I'm just trying to come out here just for a few years, then I probably wouldn't even buy. I would just rent because it wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know.
But if you're going to live here, for at least 5 to 10 years, then I would buy. But if you're like, I don't know if you're going to live here, then I would just rent.
Well, I don't know. Money's cheap. And also, what if you get a 12% return? Like you said, was it 12% this last year?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big return.
Well, that's why I'm defining it right now. If you're only going to live here for 2 years, why would you do it? You're gambling now.
It's true.
Now, if you know you're going to live here for like 10 years, then yeah, I mean, that money's got to go somewhere. You might as well have it towards your mortgage.
So there's this guy, Zach, he said something funny.
Yeah.
He said, don't buy high and sell low. They're going to lock down to Electric Avenue. And then they'll take it higher. Anyway, I thought your wife thought that was funny.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
That's why I just hit that. I don't know if they can hear that. All right, what other questions we got? We'll finish up here shortly.
Yeah, I think
we got a lot of great calls. We got a lot of comments. Let's finish up one more comment, then we're gonna roll right into the financing sector with Dan, and we're gonna end the show. Let's get another good question on here, guys. And I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for all the calls that have been calling in, and also comments too as well. Looks like a Saturday is better than a Wednesday, huh, Dan? What do you think?
I don't know. I think that people maybe have more time, but yeah, I think the comments are a lot more. But
where's Jason? Jason, if you are watching this video, look at this, man. People hitting you up, man. Where you at, Jason? Jason. All right, what's the next question here? I think rentals will be a premium within the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe if you are in the area now and if you want to relocate in the future. Use it as a rental for steady cash flow. Well, not all properties right now will cash flow you. That's the problem. You're paying $400,000 for 3 bedrooms, right? About 1,800 square feet, 2-car garage.
Yeah.
Dude, how much is your mortgage on something like that, dude? If you put down 20%, your balance is what? 420, 460 or something? What is your balance? 20% of that. 320. At 320, let's just say interest rate in today's market at 3%. Dan, you're the math guy. What's your monthly payment?
You get tired of it. He's like,
I just zoned
he's
out.
like this. He's like this.
I know. See, he can't hang. Look at that.
He's like this.
This dude can't hang.
Hey, he was like this when he first started, and now he's like this.
This guy had a chipper. He was all chippy.
Listen,
Look at him.
I'm used to moving around. I sat so still for so long.
Dude, but
I'm
you've been
about
talking
ready
like crazy,
to bounce
dude.
off the wall.
I think
You ain't bouncing out. Hey, you know what? You're just winding down. We're gonna finish this.
Okay,
but
okay,
let's get to the point here. So let's just say at 400. Yeah, come on, keep that chipper going. All right. So we're at 400,000, right?
Yeah.
Damn it, my fat fingers. Okay, 400,000. If you put down 20%, okay, this is just a calculator that I'm using, and let's just say 2.7%. Your monthly mortgage is going to be without is going to be $1,836. Now, this is what it's saying based upon this app that I have here. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1,800. So basically, that doesn't include, insurance, rental insurance, the LLC, and all that stuff, right? So basically, it sounds like you're breaking even, and also depending on the location. Like if you went to Summerlin, you couldn't even get anything like that to rent out.
Yeah, I think
for that price.
I think it's like this. So money's cheap.
Yeah.
And if you buy in the right area, depending on, because it goes by rents. See, what people don't understand is a lot of people buy cash. A lot of people buy financing.
Yeah.
If you've never been a landlord, they're going to go off of what's going on with rents in the area.
Yeah.
where if you've had landlord experience, then they're going to use, in some cases, leases that are drafted.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what the situation is, because I think location is a big part.
Yeah.
Like you said, HOA, also what rate and what type of loan, if you're getting a loan, what type of investment rate you're getting, because all of these things play a factor. And at the end of the day, you're running a business. Really, when you're buying these homes, you're running a business as an investment property. You know, you are. So, and it's also, what do you claim on your returns? What a lot of people do is they buy investment properties, but then they write off the income to it, so it shows that there's nothing generating from that property.
Yeah.
And so if you're trying to be in the market to buy multiple investment properties, you really need to show the income on the tax returns, because at the end of the day, that lease will go only so far, especially if you've owned the property for a year. Let's say that year's lapsed and you didn't file returns, or you did file returns, there's no income. So I think there's a lot of layers to this. It's not just one thing, you know, like return on investment's big, but there's a lot of layers to how you're running that property. Just like ultimately you're running a business too with those properties.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you're absolutely right. Now we're going to wrap this up here shortly. And I want to get with Dan. We're going to do the financing segment of the show. All right.
I need to get my glow sticks out. Hold on.
There you go. So what's going on with the financing today, Dan?
Oh, well, guys, rates are still phenomenally low. You know, we're starting to see that there was a slight increase, but on Friday we got that pricing back. And I don't feel that we go through the holidays and there's not a lot of trading going on. There's not a lot of movement going on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had a tug of war with bonds last week, and what they were doing. They were going up and down, basically, bond prices, which ultimately has an impact on what mortgage rates are doing. So overall, what's happening is you're seeing a lot of, I wouldn't say stagnation, but you're starting to see where we're starting to get into the holiday months, and we don't really know what's going to happen going into next year, other than the fact that we're going to probably slightly see an increase. I do want to say that if you're out there looking to get a loan, it's getting a little easier for people for FHA loans. And I'm starting to see this across the board, where people that were, you know, when you had a lot of these restrictions going on with COVID, higher credit score, you had to have a lower debt ratio, because what banks don't want to happen is they don't want you to get into a loan and you turn around and you're back onto forbearance.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a big problem. That was a problem. And that was something that not a lot of people took advantage of, but there was enough. So they put heightened restrictions. And just this last week, I'm happy to let everybody know that a lot of these programs, especially FHA, we're starting to see some leniency, and I'm going to start seeing this leniency across the board. Now, VA loans, we've always had leniency. There was some debt ratio and credit score somewhat restrictions, but as far as people getting like gift funds and getting all these things, this is important, because some people would get the news from me and they would be just completely pushed out. We need to get a gift fund. Oh, you don't qualify because your credit score is not high enough.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we wanted to get into a house and we can't maximize our purchasing power because now we need a 680 credit score. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
So in the financing world, I think it's starting to become a little bit more relaxed, and I think that's going to continuously happen. So that's good news.
Now, guys, if you guys are just getting into the market, I want you guys to visit lvhomeexperts.com. It is a great website to get started. You'll be able to look at all the homes that are currently on the market here. Okay. Also, if you guys want to get a hold of my man, Matt Shields, you're going to come down here, click this link. You'll be able to get a hold of Matt Shields right here.
Matty Ice.
That's right. Shield Team. Shield Team, right?
Shield Team.
Shield Team 6. There you go. Now, here's the thing. Get into the financing. Before you even buy a home, this is where you're going to come here. You're going to click Get Started. This is going to take you to Dan's landing page right here. It always starts off with the financing, guys. That's right. With the financing. You need to know exactly how much you're going to be approved for. Okay? Any final words, Dan?
No, I think you guys, if you want to go, and I'm going to be putting some stuff on YouTube. I put Dan French out there so you can look at me there. Also, you know, heading into next week, it's going to be a slow week because we got the holidays and Thanksgiving. So it's probably going to be a slower week next week, guys.
My man, Matt, let's finish it off.
I consider Thanksgiving the bonus turkey.
Yes.
You know.
Do you guys eat? What do you guys eat in?
I don't have any family here, so I'm gonna.
What do they do in England?
I'm
Is
like
there something different?
nothing.
Nothing. They do all the things the same.
Nothing. It's nothing.
They don't do anything.
Nothing.
Man, that's boring.
What are you gonna do, dude?
Man, at least take a nap. You take a nap there, right?
Nothing.
You guys have tea time?
Right now they're on full lockdown in England.
Really? Why is that?
The coronavirus.
Oh, it's back up.
Where the hell have you been? All right, guys.
Not in England.
Welcome.
Okay, listen, that was fun, gentlemen.
Oh, I said welcome. Like, we gonna start the show again.
Are we gonna start the show again?
Thank you so much for tuning in to the LV Home Experts show.
Yeah.
Until next time,
Yeah.
we are out.
Adios.
See y'all later.